Welcome. This is Datta Prasad Chirgurkar, Assistant Professor, Department of Political Science, MES College, Zuarinagar, Goa. Title of the unit is Karl Marx. Name of the module is Karl Marx on Theory of Surplus Value. In this module, there is introduction, theory of surplus value, criticism, and conclusion. After learning this module, we will be able to understand theory of surplus value and critical analysis of theory of surplus value. Karl Marx has given idea of scientific socialism, which is also called as communism. Karl Marx was a great political thinker who has given critical analysis of capitalism. While talking about capitalist society, he talks about two major classes. In that, the first class is bourgeois class. Bourgeois are also called as capitalists or industrialists. Now, these people invest money in industries and they establish industries. And then the other class is proletariat, or they are also called as labor who work for wages. The means of production is always controlled by capitalists in capitalist society. This means the money in enterprise or industry is invested by capitalists or bourgeois class, and they are the people who control entire production process, and the profits which they earn is called as surplus value. Now, in capitalist system, there is exploitation. This system is exploitative in nature. This system basically exploits laborers or proletariats. There is social and economic injustice in capitalist system. Theory of surplus value tries to expose injustice which takes place in capitalist system. This theory believes that labor is the most important factor of production. Value of any product is directly proportional to the quality of labor. That means if the labor is skilled, the value of products tend to increase. Labor becomes a unique commodity, and it is the labor who adds value to the product. So the value addition in any product is done by labor. There are natural resources in nature, and these natural resources are converted into commodities by labor only. Now, therefore, labor should get due wages to support his family, because in product, the enhanced value which is created is always contributed by labor, and as a result of this, there is creation of surplus value. This means if the labor doesn't put his labor, then the natural resource cannot be converted into product and the surplus value cannot be earned. Now, what capitalists do is capitalists appropriate surplus value in the form of interest and profits. But in the process of production, there is always a necessary value which is reasonable. But capitalists try to create a surplus value which is unreasonable, and it is excess. Now, what is the meaning of this? The amount of wages which are paid, this should naturally create necessary value. But capitalists try to increase their profits by paying less and less wages. So the balance amount which capitalists take is by depriving laborers. They deprive the laborers, they take away the surplus value, the excess fund which rightfully belongs to labor. So labor is paid less wages, and as a result of this, surplus value is increased. So this capitalist system is always craving for profits, and when there are profits, these profits decrease wages of labor. This means capitalists always try to increase their profits, and how profits can be increased? Profits can be increased by decreasing wages of labor, because in other places like in interests and in rent there is very less scope for decreasing the funds. Beyond this, the capitalists try to increase mechanization. That means they bring more and more machinery in production process. As a result of this, the labor is derived out from the production process. So there is deprivation of labor. As a result of this, there is more and more demand for work, but there are less wages paid because there are more laborers in market, but the amount of work available for laborers is less. As a result of this, laborers have very less bargaining power and capitalists have high bargaining power. Now, as a result of this, the production process becomes highly competitive and smaller capitalists, that is smaller entrepreneurs, are derived out of the system. Now, due to this, profits of capitalists tend to increase. The bigger capitalists earn bigger profits. This means surplus value would further be expanded. And when less wages are paid to the laborers become poor. So there is impoverishment of labor. And when there is impoverishment of labor becomes poorer and poorer. There is class consciousness. Laborers try to realize that their sorry state of affairs is because of capitalists. And as a result of this, they start cooperating with each other and they try to carry out communist revolution, which is violent, and they try to establish a classless society. Let's try to understand why this theory is criticized. We should always remember that there is a risk factor in enterprise. When a capitalist is investing in any enterprise, there is a risk because he is taking profits and he is also ready to take the losses. Beyond this, labor is a useless entity until it is fully used. It is always a skill of capitalist to make the full use of labor. Beyond this, for establishing any industry or enterprise, initiative is always taken by capitalists. It is a laborer who never takes initiative. Initiative is taken by industrialists. So obviously he is due for profits. Now beyond this, we should also remember that capitalists and laborers both are interdependent. That means they are complementary to each other. If there are no capitalists, then we cannot have industries. And if there are no laborers, then also we cannot run industries. So both are supplementary and complementary to each other. So as to conclude, we can say that Karl Marx has given excellent analysis of capitalist system. The kind of analysis he has given pertaining to capitalist system was not given by any thinker in the past, and it is not so easy for any other thinker to give such a detailed analysis. He has been successful in highlighting injustice pertaining to capitalist system, and this injustice happens to the labor class. Beyond this, he has also been successful in highlighting that labor is indispensable entity. Without labor, there cannot be production. At the same time, we have to remember that importance of capitalists cannot be ignored because Karl Marx has given a draconian role to capitalists. He is highly critical of capitalists, but capitalists are also very important. Without capitalists, we cannot have industries, we cannot have laborers, we cannot have production. And if there is no production, the economy or the society cannot grow. These are my references. Thank you.